Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel again today. This is another design team share, and if you missed the news, I've joined the Craft Plus Challenge design team, and I'm so excited to be here. I've been playing along with the Craft Plus challenges for a little while, or a long while, and I love the challenges. They always make me think outside of the box. I've been lucky enough to be a guest designer a couple of times, and then I was asked if I'd like to join the team. So, of course, I said yes. This month we are scrapbooking all about friends. You've seen my layout already, and some of you may recognise the friend I have decided to scrapbook. That is Farrell, and I at a class that we took with Antonis when he travelled to WA and taught some classes. So I thought that I would scrap that. What better time to scrapbook a photo of friends getting crafty than a Craft Plus Friends Challenge. I pulled out my, I actually pulled out most of my Heidi Swap stash of goodies. I'm a big fan of Heidi, and I may have been collecting, hoarding, forgetting that I had lots of these fun customizable products of hers. So I started with a paper that that craft with the blue and the pink and the white arrow, and I just love that paper, and I'm so glad I got it onto a page. Love the colours, and the vote was unanimous in the Craft Plus design team group that it was a craft based paper, so I ran with it. I'm using a combination of a couple of colours here to colour my my bits and pieces. I started with a Heidi Swap colour shine, I think, in coral, and then I have used Colour Blast colour shimmer spray in blush, and I've painted. I first sprayed my butterflies, and then I added some darker colours with a water brush. My title is going to be a combination of a few different fonts. The Seriously is in Heidi's handwriting. The Good Times are the mini stickers from Paige Evans. Love them. They are awesome. Almost everything on this page actually is Heidi Swap. The little arrows are like the resist ones, so you can add colour over the top and then clean the colour off parts and you get the resist effect, but they've also got the fun printing on them as well. So I've pulled out the arrows there, and I've used a bunch of them on this page, and like I said, the butterflies. I got a little package of, they're like tags and little tiny bits of ephemera in acetate with some white, I'm going to call it felt. No, it's not felt. It's like fuzzy stuff. Words and stuff printed on them. And just layering up in little clusters up and down that middle of the page. I decided I wanted some of that darker blue. If you saw my post yesterday, you would have seen that one of my all-time favourite colour combinations is the navy blue and the light pink. So this really lent itself to that as well. So I have used a Martha Stewart circle cutter, which I did fight with for a little while. I haven't used it before. It was a bit of a challenge. I'm gifted. But I got it to work, and I've cut three 3-inch circles out of another Heidi Swap paper, and I'm really happy with how that's looking. I'm going to use my distress tool. First I'm going to do a bit more mixed media. I'm going to paint some stuff. I've got this doily frame thing, another Heidi Swap product, and this beautiful Prima paint in the Gold Rush again, and my watercolor brush, and I'm just going to paint that on. You will see in a second I switch over to a bigger brush because a bigger brush paints quicker. It's less fiddly. So I'm just painting that onto this little doily frame thing. It's watercolor paper. It's another one of the Heidi products I may have been hanging on to for a bit longer than necessary. when you see how I use this, yes, I absolutely could have cut it and used it on a different page, but I'm not sure that I would, so I just went, you know what, I'm just going to stick it down and use it as is. So I'm just finishing painting that off. Cleaning these brushes is super easy. Just brush it over and over again on. I used my a wet wipe, and I'm just going in and I've diluted the color a bit more with some water for those arrows, and I've just painted the color on top of that. I'm going to add some splatters again with the same paint and some water. I do go back in and I don't record this, and I add some splatters over the top of everything as well, making sure I cover up my photo. I'm just going to pop that background aside to dry, I think. Again, if you watched my video yesterday, you would have seen that I use this piece of paper for my excess. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm sure I can make something fun. Stamp something and cut it, or maybe just cut shapes. I don't know, something. What am I doing? So I'm going to distress the edges of all of those circles. I'm not going to make you watch me do all that because I do most of that off camera anyway. And then I'm just going to bend them all up so they've got a bit of extra dimension. Pretty sure I'm going to, backing my photo with some white tissue paper. I'm just going to do a few layers behind my photo. Trim that down. So if you haven't already seen the Craft Plus challenge for this month, make sure you head over to the blog post. I'll make sure I link it in the description box below. Some of the other girls on the team have done amazing layouts. So inspired by them. I'm always inspired by the girls on this team, and I'm still kind of going, oh my gosh, I was lucky enough to be asked. I decided I wanted another bit of a subtle layer here. I went through my offcuts of vellum and I couldn't find any that were big enough. So this is a Maggie Holmes vellum newspaper print with gold print on it that I may also have been hoarding. But I cut into it and I use it again on this page as well. I'm just going to start sticking all my bits together. I decided to stick the photo there where it is. The arrows obviously give direction on the page, and I really liked the way that with that bold, thick white stripe, the photo just kind of wanted to sit there. I tried it a little bit further down, I tried it a little bit further up. You'll also find too that that's, I think the photo is right on that 1/3 line, which, you know, rule of thirds, which is why I've gone with the 3 main clusters on the page as well. Now I've got to get my positioning absolutely 100% correct of all my bits and pieces. Really makes me laugh when I watch other people do this and then I do the same thing. Cracks me up. Oops, no, it's got to be 1 millimeter the other way. I'm just putting all my bits and pieces back down, and then when we go to stick it all down, we move it anyway. I think I'm going to start by sticking down my photo. No, I'm going to start with my blue circles because they're in just the right place. So rather than move them, I'll stick them. Then my photo cluster. So I've got the tissue paper, I've got the printed vellum, the doily, and some cardboard behind there. That's my title, the start of my title on top. I'm going to stick down these alphas. I'm not going to make you watch all of this, but I am using my T-square ruler to make sure they're straight. My title says seriously good times, and then I decide to add another word. Making sure that those alphas are straight. Here is the other word I'm adding. It's another Heidi swap. This one's an acetate word and it says together. And I've just put a tiny bit of glue on the letters that are tucking underneath so that you can't see it. And I'm just going to get to gluing all the bits down. I'm using a wet wipe to clean off some of the extra paint from the resist parts of those arrows. And again, with these acetate pieces, I'm just putting glue behind, like where it's tucked under a layer or something so that you can't see it. Wasn't sure about the placement of that little geotag. It's got a little love heart on it, I think. Just sticking. Those arrows have all got adhesive on the back, so I'm just peeling the backing off and sticking them down. Then I decided that it needed a little bit more of something, so I'm going back in with some of these punched circles. Again, I've just used my paper punches and punched these from that vellum that I used. And again, I'm just hiding the glue behind the layers. There are a couple that end up on top, but honestly, you can't see the glue all that much. You can in the close-ups because I took the photo while the glue was still a bit wet, I think. But other than that, and honestly, for the most part, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't stand out terribly, so I'm all good with it. Like that one, which is right out in the open. There's no bits to tuck. And then the couple that end up on top as well. I did think about using some staples to attach things, but I didn't want to bring that element into the page. So like I said, I just kind of went, you know what? For the most part, I did use my glue behind the gold foiling, so it's not obvious. If you don't want to use glue, you can sew, you can staple, you can use paper clips and that kind of stuff. Adding a tiny bit of, this is crochet thread to that tag. I'm going to add my journaling, and I think it basically says having a great time making a mess at Antonis's class or something to that effect, because we had an awesome day. Antonis was an amazing teacher, and I'm so glad that that I got to go to one of his classes. And I'm going to add the date, and I'm pretty sure Farrell and I, and trimming off my edges. And then the last thing that I do, like I said, is I go over the top again with some more gold splatters just to tie the background in with the top of the page. And besides my splatters and colouring those words, I didn't really do any mixed media on this page. Different. So yeah, like I said, make sure you head on over to the Kraft Plus blog and head over to the Kraft Plus Challenges group on Facebook. I will leave all the links below. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. I'm pretty sure that I have another video coming tomorrow. It should be the Colour Blast October kit unboxing. So yes. To all my new subscribers, welcome. To all my faithful old subscribers, thank you. And I will see you again very soon. Bye.